It's a good question, actually. Can you tell me the price of charter?
Charter high season is 195,000 a week, and low season is 165.
Okay.
So
that's euros?
Yeah.
Okay.
Still have to have VAT on that, depending where you start the charter.
And can you tell me, this is a question I get an awful lot on my channel, is if I come to you and I say I want to charter the vessel, so I pay you 195,000 euros, what does that include and what doesn't it include?
Only includes hire of the vessel, doesn't include fuel, berthing, food, VAT, anything like that.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's just okay, I've secured the boat for a week, now you need to pay for everything else.
Correct.
And can you tell me...
I mean, I think a good example, just to understand, it's like here in Monaco is about 680 euros a night for berthing.
Right.
And you get to Ibiza, it's 5,000 euros a night.
Wow.
So the difference is astronomical, yeah.
So can you tell me, on an average charter, you might not want to tell me this, but what would be the cost? Like when I leave the boat, so I paid you the 195, I've had my charter, I'm leaving the boat, how much have I spent?
Well, think about in Italy, it's 22% VAT on top of that, which goes directly to the Italian government.
Okay.
Then there's the fuel. Luckily in Italy we can still get duty-free fuel, so we're paying about 65 cents a litre compared to 150 here in France.
Wow.
Huge difference. I mean,
right.
a boat which uses a lot of fuel. As I said, berthing, it ranges from 600 Monaco, 1,400 Saint-Tropez to 5,000 Ibiza. So it's a huge variation.
Okay, but if I take the boat and I say, right, I want to go to Capri for a week and I just want to sit there at anchor and do some swimming and diving or whatever.
Well, Capri is 440 miles from Monaco, so it's quite far. So you'd be looking at probably, to get there, 16,000 euros in fuel each way. So 36 on top. And the problem is, depending on how you charter the vessel, there's often a redelivery fee.
Right, because you've got to come back to where you started.
Yeah.
So even if I leave in Capri, I've got to pay for you to get back here.
If you give us enough notice in advance, we try and work it in with another charter and actually cut the costs down.
I see.
But it's, last minute is always an issue.
Okay.
For me, what I always find is, all the years I've been yachting, all the chefs I worked with, I insist there is no menu. Because for me, you come on a yacht, it's up to you what you feel like eating. It's not what somebody presents you. Right. And if you don't have an idea, the chef can construct something for you. But we try and get everything fresh from the market. So if she's got a wild sea bass, which is just from the market, you can see the eyes are super fresh, then you'll try and sell that to the client.
Right.
And then also, as well as, once we get the clients on board, the first day is the most telling day. From there, the chef has every single menu from every single client we've ever done in the last 7 years, written down day by day what they eat. Right. So you construct a whole plan, and that's what we then pass on to the brokers, so the brokers can deal when they go to a new yacht how the client wants to eat and what they like. So
do you get in advance an idea of what they're going to eat, because you've got a provision for that
The biggest
charter?
problem about those sort of preference lists is it's often just one of the clients filling it in, and it's not catering for the other 7 people. So you use that as a guideline. Right. And then the rest you just construct. Once you've got the chef, once the client's on board, the first day decides how we're going to run the whole thing with them. Because, as I said, sadly, most preference lists are written by one person. So you can understand the level of sort of stress. I mean, the great thing about chartering the Mediterranean, you can get all kind of supplies everywhere, and after years of doing it, you build up all your contacts, and you can always cater for it. So it's good.
I understand that every charter is different, but so you're going to have a massive supply of alcohol on board as well, I would imagine, because you've got to, again, you don't know what they're going to ask for.
The thing is, what we do is, obviously, a preference list, they say what they'd like.
Okay.
We have a boat stock on board, which we can tap into and then restock, and that's you just run it like that.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So I would imagine people will ask for things like, I'd like a cognac. They won't specifically ask for, I'd like this particular cognac.
Actually, how I run it to kind of keep it fair on everybody, it's like, the dry stalls. The chef has bought in flour 2 weeks ago. You didn't pay for the flour, but she'll buy something to top up some of the other dry stalls, and that it just sort of keeps the flow going. And then with it, if you ask for a cognac, and you took a cognac from board and you had one whole week charter, we wouldn't charge you for that. Right. But if you're having 2 or 3 a day, you'd have to replace the bottle. So it's just sort of a fair spread system.
Okay. Okay.
Because otherwise, it's impossible to stock everything.
No, that was hence
if you're
my
buying
question,
sugar every time for each client, you're going to end up with 100 kilos of sugar on board. So
Right.
it's kind of and there's no space for storing, obviously.
Right,
So it's a sort
that's
of
another issue with a vessel, any vessel. Even people think that 140 meter vessels got endless storage, but they don't. They're all because the bigger the boat, the more stuff they've got.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right. So.
Yeah, the bigger the salary, the more you spend. Smaller the salary, less you spend.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks very much anyway. Thank you.